Howdy, Connection Group leaders. Happy Thursday. Let me just say, brr. I hope you're all well and warm. I really hope that you all have power. If you don't have power, you hear about people that don't, please speak up. We want to keep passing that around so we can take care of each other. But I hope you're doing well. Things are good at Fort Lewis. Cadence is terribly bored. The boys are loving this. She's already read a book and watched the corresponding movie to said book and just really wants to leave the house. And our driveway is just sloped enough that if we left, we would never get back in the garage. So we're not going anywhere, and that's okay, because home's a great place to be. And this is actually a great springboard, because wisdom would say it's a good day to stay in the house, because if you leave, things aren't going to go well, right? I really do love this lesson. I know that it's an incredibly familiar passage. Even a lot of our kids in the church are going to go, man, I so know this story. And they do. This is one of those times we remind you, the scriptures can never get told to us enough. We need these reminders and this truth. And the reminder of seeking wisdom is incredibly valuable, and it's going to become more and more valuable as we move along. So we get to look a little bit at David's last words and how that affected his son. I want to do a little bit of maybe not a big picture look at it, but just an overwhelming concept that as I'm reading through this and thinking about it, here's what's coming to mind with me, okay? So in verse 1 through 4 of chapter 2, it gives David's last words, and it really makes me laugh. Verse 2 says, David said to Solomon, be a man and be strong. And you're like, yeah, that's good, like great words for a dad to his son, and from an old king to a new king. Be a man and be strong. But then he defines what it means to be a man and be strong. Verse 3 says very distinctly, follow God's ways. And how cool would it be if we painted the picture, certainly for us men, but this is true of ladies as well. Like if we painted the picture, this is what it looks like to be a man. And even what it looks like to be strong. And again, this is why I say, there's lots of talk about, I want to be a strong woman. And absolutely, by all means, what it means to be strong, what it means to be a man or a woman is to follow God's ways, because that's so much harder than following any of the customs of the day, right? But also, we see these are David's last words to his son. He's given him some encouragement before he leaves. And here's what came to mind, and I hope this makes sense to you. Final words are important. When it comes for your day to die, if you die in such a way where you have that moment where you're able to impart wisdom to your family members or whoever's around, final words matter. And we've got lots and lots of documented final words of people, and they're important and significant. So final words are what matter. I would say what's more important, though, are consistent words in your life. If you wait until the end of your life to impart wisdom, you failed. Consistent words of, hey, be strong and follow God, be a man, be a woman, those are even more important. But most important is a sincere life that offers up these words. In other words, those around us, whether it's your children, your grandchildren, your classmates that you're leading, what they need to see from us is not just our words. They need to see that these words in us are real, that it's actually sincere. And that would include our mistakes. And what's interesting, let me encourage you, continue to read chapter 2, the rest of David's speech. David's kind of honest about the consequences of mistakes that he made. And he's laying that out for Solomon. And I also think it's interesting that Solomon is the fruit of a marriage that David should have never had, which shows us God's grace, of course. But Solomon is totally aware of all of these things. He grew up in what would have been a pretty chaotic time in David's life. If you look at the timing of everything that's going on, Solomon's only 20 years old. That meant he would have been very alive and aware of what's going on, like with Amnon and Tamar, which was today's church Bible reading, by the way, right? So he knew what was going on. And so all of those things are what shapes Solomon to reach the point that when God comes to him and says, hey, I'll give you anything you want, Solomon says, I need wisdom. And it's not just this giant job. I looked and saw what my family has done and been through. I know what my father said to me. I need wisdom. God, please grant it to me. Guys, if we want to be a church that raises up children and raises up connection group members and even other leaders that are the type of people who are men in wisdom of strength and honor, then we want to be, and that are seeking wisdom, then we want to be a people that are sincere and humble and even honest about our mistakes and gracious to one another in the process. So that's what's going through my heart and my mind as I read this. I have no doubt God's going to direct you on some stuff too. Even though it's a familiar story, man, press into it because wisdom is what we need. Because we love y'all so much. Have a great day and weekend. We will see you on Sunday. We'll talk to you later.